All right, good morning, good evening, good night. Welcome in to NFT Live. We're back for the last show of the week here on the Web3 network. We got a lot of good stuff happening. Sewer passes were minting out yesterday. Hasbulla's minting out today. The man Crypto Hasbulla just getting after it. I'm sitting here with some friends, some folks, some family. Ronin the Collector joining us. Biggie Poppins, Gift Dead. I'm excited to talk to you today, fellas. Ronin, how are you doing, man?
Good, dude. Good, man. It's been a pretty busy week. Really interested in the topics of conversation that we've got lined up for the day. I'm admiring Gift Dead's hoodie. I love it, man. Yeah, look good. Good to see you guys.
Yo, Biggie, I want to get to you in a second. Ronan, we had Matt Wolf on today, man. We're going to talk AI, but we get to talk CyberBrokers, and we want to get your take on the latest edition of the Rate My Bags PFP collection. I definitely want to get that to you here in just a second. Biggie, how are you doing today, brother? Excited to talk with you.
I'm doing good, man. Ready to get down into all of this, dude. Before we get into you show Ronin this chart, just know Ronin, I fought for S tier. Okay. I fought for S tier, but it's still being hotly debated. So I hope we can make them push that up where it belongs.
Hell yeah.
All right,
I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Gifted, we had a hotly debated, contested, interesting. A lot of really cool folks hopped up on stage to talk about the topic of the day, which was ETH Denver, but also a couple other pieces. People are just not liking the Yuga Labs show. But you let me know, how was the GM Web3 morning show, man? Alpha show.
Yeah. It was great. I mean, look, GM Web3, I'm consistently impressed with how great that show happens to be because, let's be honest, I don't do a whole lot of pre-production. I don't do a whole, I basically set up a topic. I put a headline up the night before, a couple hours, and then I just trust that the Lord Jeebus Hasbulla, our NFT Lord is gonna, make it all come together. And magically, some of the best, brightest, most amazing and creative people in the space keep showing up to talk with us about these things. So it was a great day. And yeah, definitely some hot topics. We shared some alpha, some big news on Ethereum Denver, which, maybe we could touch on today. We've got some really, really big things happening there that we just started talking about. That's really exciting to me. And then, a lot of other contentious shit. I have one big update from our show yesterday on a personal note. And that is that, I'm probably going to get flamed. Maybe not. I don't know. We're not going to turn this into the Yuga show, but as an update to the sewer passes, I was not planning on flipping my tier 4. I was going to hold on to it and go all the way through. And then after talking to a bunch of people and being other spaces and hearing how people were approaching it, my survival instinct took over and just was like, you know what? It's a bear market, bro. You got to pay rent, fucking take the dub and, go buy a tier 1 or a tier 2. So I ended up in a very sort of last minute late night move, just being like, you know what, I'm gonna flip my tier 4 for 4.5 ETH and, take some of that liquidity. And, I'll be watching the tier 1s and tier 2s to get back into it. But I had to do it. And it kind of hurts. It kind of hurts my soul. I was really excited to have that tier 4 and go through with it. But sometimes you just got to.
A new bike.
Yeah, man. You got to do what you got to do. That's
a new bike?
Well, I need a new car. I need some transportation. I need something. So, yep.
All right, so Marty McFly is saying smart. I just put up a poll in chat as well. If you guys want to vote there, I said, would you sell the sewer pass mint tier 1, 2, 3, 4, whichever one you got? Would you sell that? Let me know what you think. Marty thinks you're smart. Ronan, is Gifted smart for selling so close after mint?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's cool because I just had this conversation actually with Cost Effective from the community, and we were chatting about it. And he was like, what's your play? What are you thinking? And I'm like, man, I'm just watching like I usually do. But I do think for me, I feel like the space is definitely at a place right now where you're going to have that typical 24, 48 hour cycle where things may pump a little and kind of have a little bit of up and down. But I think after depending on timing, right? Typically on the weekends, things are a little different, right? But my assumption is post Sunday, these things are just going to start to tank, right? Just like everything else. So for me, like I'm watching closely. I've been watching like for the last like 2 hours, just kind of seeing like where it's at, what people are doing, reacting as we get like closer to the game launching in, supposedly a few minutes. Yeah, so I think like GIF is like right. Isn't it 24 hours after the isn't that what they said?
Maybe
24 hours after the mint started is when the game opens.
Okay.
So technically it should start, and it started around 1:30 yesterday, right? So
okay. I'm gonna do a shameless plug here. We are gonna be streaming this on the channel, so I wanted to get in there. I want to see how I can finish. First of all, you can't beat Dookie Dash. So I don't want any comments coming through saying you can't beat the game. But we're gonna try to beat everybody else out for the top score. So we're gonna be doing that today.
He's gonna be beating something. They're always something.
I will say, like, also to add, like, I think that, like, unless you're really, really trying to compete and you've got like the gamer chops to do so, like having a top tier, like for like pass is not really purposeful. You know what I mean? Like if you just want to have access to the game, get in, be able to do the mutant thing or whatever that's coming, like that, like do the next 2 mini games. Cool.
I get what you're saying, but here's where I disagree. Because what I believe is happening is there's a strata system, and what you're actually doing is you've got 4 different pools, and so you're not actually competing with everybody. You're actually competing within, like, tier 4s are competing against each other to get the highest score in tier 4. Tier 3, you're trying to get the highest score in tier 3. That's what I think, and I'm sure like the overall score will also matter, but I think
only one person will get the key, right?
Only one. Yep.
Only one, but again, I think that the way that it works beyond that for everybody else is that, you're going to get a certain strata of, just like how mutants had, 3 different stratas of what you could get in the traits. That's what I think that really most of us are competing for. And so that's why I'm bummed, is that I was going to be in a certain strata regardless of how well I did at the game and get certain assets based on that. Yeah. That's what I think.
Yeah, someone's going to get really good at this game and basically sell out their services, right? Like, let's say you can get a top 10 score across all tiers, because it doesn't matter. The game doesn't get harder if you're tier 4 or tier 1. They're going to say, hey, I got a top 10 score in tier 1. Do you own a tier 2? Yeah. I'll just finish the game for you. You can link to my account, and now you have a rare whatever tier 2, 3, 4 end up being, whether that's mecha apes, mecha dogs. We don't really know. We're going to keep a little bit talking about these Sewer Pass mints because the volume was absolutely fucking nuts. I see you there, Quantum Variant, Marty McFly, Nox Darkness, Choina, Asmodai, Time, DeKenza says Gifted with the generational wealth alpha for months.
Real quick, Marty is right. He's like, oh, like nobody knows. It's all speculation. Yes, there's a lot of speculation. However, we've now seen a track record of how they do move and how a lot of these things play out. And again, I think Mutants is a great example where they had the serums at different levels. And so it's like, yeah, there's a lot of speculation, but there's also only certain types of ways that, mechanics, traits, mints, metadata, all of these things can only kind of work so many different ways, which is why, we kind of have some rough ideas of how things might go, even though it is a lot of speculation.
Yeah, we're gonna keep speculating
here. And I love his comment. If you play and fart and the mic picks it up, it gives you bonus points. That is actually true for Dookie Dash.
So me and Gifted were on the NFTGO spaces. Shout out to NFTGO. Again, we'll get into the platform as we do. It's our new segment early in the episode. One of the guys that was on there was talking about what he was doing with the mints. He was able to mint, I believe, like a tier 2 or 3, whatever. But selling into the euphoria is something he did, and something I think is the way that you should approach Yuga drops. There is a time after that initial euphoria where you do see them bottom out a little bit. The problem is that usually over time, it's a bad idea to sell Yuga assets. Like that's like straight up. Like this is what happened with mutants. So the mutant serums ran heavy in that euphoria and then absolutely bottomed out. And the FUD was heavy. It was like, these mutants are fucking ugly. What's the utility? Whatever you want to throw out. The FUD was there. And over a little bit of time, and I don't have the timeline in front of me, I was able to and I've paper-handed in this time, my M2 serum, which are now going for 25 to 30 ETH. I paper-handed an M2 at like 8 ETH. So over time, it's probably a bad idea to sell Yuga assets, but in this initial euphoria, you can get a really good flip. Like that, and people that did sell it at 6 ETH for their tier 4s can easily pick one up for less now. So I agree with that. Keep the comments coming. We're going to get started here on NFT Live. We're talking a bunch of different things around the industry. We were going to have Matt Wolf, who is a friend of the channel, and he's now building out an AI kind of discovery platform, if you will. I wish I had him on to eloquently say that a little bit better, but futuretools.io, which I'll link here in the chat. We're going to have him on next week because really he is just diving in heavy. Like he is deep down the rabbit hole. He's in Wonderland when it comes to the AI stuff. And honestly, fellas, like I feel kind of left out in the AI conversation a lot of times. I don't know what the fuck to
this
do
is the place to be, Q, because I'm excited then to be having these conversations with you. We're going to be diving a lot more into AI over the coming weeks and maybe months because there's so much to it. And really, if you can figure out how to, like, which are the best tools, how to direct and train these AI tools, you're going to 1,000x your efficiency. And that's not a joke. It sounds hyperbolic. But when I've seen what people have been able to do with ChatGPT in terms of literally doing impossible tasks that they never could have done without it, you can literally be a superhero if you get into these tools and figure out how to direct them properly. So that's why it's important, not just the cool creative things it can do, but literally from just a workflow efficiency, like life, lifestyle, like it's crazy what these tools are doing. And so that's why we're going to be diving a lot more into them on our network.
Yeah, so we had a whole show, like an AI show. We had the thumbnail created, all this stuff. And then Matt said he had to pull out last minute, which is fine. This shit happens. But we're scrambling a little bit today on the topics and all this stuff since we had the AI episode ready to go. Last thing I want to do, a couple last things that I want to do for housekeeping before we get into the show. Sarah Script, she had a open edition on Manifold that I was able to pick up. Listen, I picked up 3 of these. So I want to do something.
Go.
I want to do one quick thing with these Sarah Script Mournbird and Emotional Support Mice Open Edition. You know what to do. Jump into the NFT Live tweet. So I'm going to jump in myself. Let me see if I can get there. And you are going to leave a community topic. So obviously jump in here where we see Hasbulla, where we see Gifted, Nifty Castle Web3. Jump into that link. Leave a community topic. We will pick one, and one person will get that Emotional Support Mouse and Mournbird Sarah Script Open Edition that has like about 8 hours left on the auction there on Manifold.
That's awesome. So somebody's going to get a Sarah Script illustrated limited edition NFT right now. And all you have to do is comment with a topic for us to talk about.
There you go. Also, first NFT I'm gifting my mother. I texted her this morning.
Wow.
So shout out, Mom.
Yo.
I see you, Mom.
Yo.
Couple other housekeeping pieces. Biggie, I had to do it. I love boobies.
Thank you. Welcome to the Booby Club, my friend. Did you join the Discord?
I did not
Web3's
yet.
been getting a lot of love there.
Really?
I'm very hyped. Yes, sir.
Should I go buy some boobies?
21st. I think
Should
you
I
should, man. When should you not gift? That's the real
buy
question.
some boobs?
Fair.
This will be the first time I've ever bought boobs, actually.
That's
totally
not true.
transparent. Yeah, it is.
Okay, we are going to get to the quick news here in just a second. If you're here early, we appreciate you guys so much. Our vibe, our tribe, we're covering the NFT and Web3 space every freaking day except Fridays because that's our day of rest, if you will. And we appreciate all the likes if it's your first time here. If you're listening afterwards, I wanted to make a point on today's episode to shout out the people who don't have time, who are working, who are at another part of the globe that they can't catch us live here. Thank you so much for tuning in afterwards. Y'all are the real legitimate ones, man. Like being able to just hop on and watch the whole entire show when it's not live, y'all are legit. So I just wanted to give you a quick shout out on today's episode before we get started. And we will hit quick news and the NFTGO platform. But Ronin, I said I'd do it. I'm going to give you a chance to look at this here in just a second.
State your case, Ronin.
This list has grown since we did it the first time. But
it has grown. It's gotten pretty freaking big, dude. It's cool though that like, there's that many projects that are doing well enough that we can talk about them, right? There's some in there that I don't even freaking know what they are. Yeah, no, I think it looks pretty good, but I agree with Biggie if he was saying that CyberBrokers should be S tier. Is that what the argument is?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I definitely agree. And not just because I got a bag, but like because like I really think that like they're one of those teams that has shown like so much consistency, right? Like when you look at like all of the landscape, right? Like there's a lot of teams, especially a lot of teams on this list or on this like page that like have said, hey, we're going to do this or that, and they didn't pull through, or they were super late or whatever. Man, you want to talk about consistent. CyberBrokers has been consistent with their product from the beginning, and it's been cool. It's been a really cool activation. They've done some really cool stuff. They've gotten the community involved in a lot of really unique ways, with these ARGs and like getting people to do things like create. They had an activation where you created like a sign as if you were petitioning, like right, like the corporation or something like that, and you took a picture and you shared it on social, and that gave like, and they had to hit like a certain threshold, which unlocked the next story element, right? And that's to me like what really gets people super soaked into like an IP, right? And I think ultimately a lot of these brands are their end goal is to become bigger IPs. And so for me, man, CyberBrokers got all the intangibles, and then you check out that trailer that they launched, which is like just like gets you hype about like what comes next, which is the mechs, right? Like I've got a handful of like all these mech pieces. Now I'm ready to figure out how do I put them together to create like the next experience, right? So yeah, man, and the team is legit. It's Josie Bellini, like she's one of the most legit artists. Like she's been around since like 2017 or something, even like if not before.
Discord.
Yeah, dude, she was like involved like super early. She's got some really dope art. She's done really well for herself as far as her art is concerned. Yeah, so that's my case, man.
Okay.
I think like they've got an excellent, the art is sick, dude.
Okay.
And I've put it out there. I'm almost 100% positive they're going to be part of 10 KTF. Ooh. And nobody's talking about
that. I have not.
It's all on chain.
I have not heard that prediction. I did drop a poll here in chat. I want to get you in here, Gifted. But I dropped a poll saying, would you sell the Sewer Pass Mint? 72% of you said yes. We also have a new poll. CyberBrokers. We lean heavily on Ronin here and his knowledge of the NFT space. CyberBrokers at S. I could definitely see it up at S, and we can do that. But I did want to give you guys a shout there in chat as well. So CyberBrokers, S or A. We have the poll up right now.
Let's see what happens. Ronin, by the way, Gift forgot to claim his mech parts. Can you believe it?
Oh no!
I didn't even know. So okay. So okay. A couple things.
Oh no, they closed in December or something.
Yeah.
A couple things. So first of all, on the sewer pass front, like I'm going with the people. I put up a poll yesterday, just like I'm kind of like Elon Musk. Whatever the people say on my polls, that's what I'm going to do. Everybody said I should sell, so I sold. And that's how I'm going to run my life from now on. One Twitter poll at a time. You get to decide my fate. Yeah, that's how it's going to happen. Ronin, I'm very happy that you're here to talk about CyberBrokers because you're the one that got me into it, right? So when, the bear market was hitting and floors were all down and I was looking for, well-known good collections that might be underpriced, you kept talking about CyberBrokers as like, yo, I think they're going to be lit. I think they're it. I think it's she's her. This is a dope project. And so I ended up picking one up a couple months ago based on primarily just you continuing to talk about why it was great. I didn't know about all the other stuff. I was kind of an outsider. I wasn't an early one. This also got into a really interesting topic that we're going to talk more about, which is how to kind of projects that aren't brand new help new people come in and feel like they're not like on the outside or like missing out, like because part of it's on me to go spend time in the Discord, but I also just kind of felt a little bit like, oh, there's too much already happening. I don't know how much time I want to invest. It's a little bit esoteric, like a lot of things are, and so I just didn't get that into it, so I missed my pieces and my parts. But either way, I have a CyberBroker that I got into at, I think, a pretty solid price around like 0.8 because you recommended them. My personal take is that the more I learn about it, I do think it's a high quality project that I'm very happy to have. I don't know if it's S tier. I think A tier is fair, but I feel like until the mechs come out and they do a little bit more, I don't know that it should be S just yet. That's my personal opinion.
Okay, we're going to close the poll out here in just a second. So some of the comments that are coming through, Prodigy, we see you saying, I got my Twitter topic, let's fucking go. Steven Arcella's in the chat saying GM. Prado is saying, should CloneX should still be A tier? Easy and Crypto saying, I just got here. If Gary crap is S, Crypto Brokers is definitely starting the fight early. Easy. We love to see it. Okay. I'm going to close the poll. I'm going to close the poll right now. We gave y'all some time to get it out, and it's 50% of you say S, 50% A. And therefore, we've got ourselves a new... We should have some music for this.
Wow. Wait. Where's the...
We need some flowers or something.
Flowers.
Go into the NFT live. Maybe not. Maybe we'll see. Anyway, CyberBrokers is our new S tier. We'll let Wagme kind of fill in there and see what we can do. CloneX still being an A. I don't want to spend too much time. We've definitely are in my rate my bags bag this week. But should CloneX be an
A?
I mean,
for now,
okay. That's not a good sound.
I still think I still think that it's like let's see what happens next, right? Like I think everybody like makes mistakes, right? Like everybody like has like these stumbles, and they obviously like with the whole shoe thing like was definitely not a good look for them. But I do think that like we've got the Animus project thing going on. Like what comes next with that? Like what is attached to that experience? Like what's the purpose of like your clone having a companion? And what comes next, right? Like I can't imagine, again, like what I said earlier, they're all building brands, and I cannot imagine this being the first kind of like unique IP in this way that Nike like owns, right? That they're just going to let it flounder, right? Like I imagine that the big idea is, fuck, we want a CloneX television show that tells the story of, you know, the Animus project, right? Like they want like this IP to be seen by people. That's what a lot of these NFT Web3 projects are looking at doing now, right? Because they're all trying to figure out what is our sustainable product that like we can sustain us, and to Gibbs' point, bridges the gap between the Web2 like, you know, massive audience and the technology.
I'm super bullish on it, to be honest, even though I'm not in it. I wish I was in it because everything Ronin said, but also like understanding the amount of resources that somebody like a Nike has to make all their wildest dreams and partnerships come true for the foreseeable future. It's just like, to me, if anything, they should be moving up to S. I was actually making the argument like they might be S tier worthy. Maybe they haven't done enough yet, but like just based upon where I think that they're going to be able to go in comparison to a lot of these other IP and brands, to Ronan's point, dude, it's fucking Nike. Don't bet against Nike. Like, yeah, you might not like that, like they do coupon drops and shit, but bro, they're going to be building crazy shit with more resources and more innovation than almost anybody else in the fucking space, period.
You just have to have some type of like awareness, right? Like, dropping a coupon NFT is a perfect use case for the technology, but not to holders that spent fucking $8,000 on an asset. That is where there was this massive disconnect that still kind of blows my mind, that got from concept to execution. And nobody said, I don't know if this feels right, as somebody who owns like one of these boxes. You know what I mean?
I still would have loved to have been in the boardroom when the Game of Thrones drop was like, yes, that's it. This is it right here. Put it out.
Well, it was a sales and marketing exec.
Yeah.
That's who it was. It wasn't a Web3 guru who's been in the space and knows what the fuck they're talking about. It was some sales and marketing guy who says, hey, we've got this whole new audience and this new marketing channel. Let's fucking do a coupon drop. Okay. But yeah, I also just did a thing.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna get to the shared screen here, Gifted. The last thing I'll say here on the rate my bags, because we have been covering it. Ronin, we got caught up on one other discussion, and we're not gonna dive down that rabbit hole. But what the respect given to older projects on this list, right? It's an updated list. It's constantly fluid, and so seeing Avastars and Hashmass down at D is tough for me. But I even threw this idea out. We should have like a grandfathered category for this, where it's like, hey, you shouldn't even really be part of
Grandpa's
this.
NFT
So,
cabinet.
because it's tough
I
to see them
mean,
down
what
there.
like I love Avastars, man. I still have a couple, but like, what has NFT 42 done with that IP, or what have they done with that property, or to get people like excited or engaged or interested, right? Like, I think that like they can hold the status, yeah, because they are OGs, kind of like CryptoPunks do nothing more than just hold a status, right? But if you want to see if they're ever going to climb up the ranks, then yeah, we got to see an activation. We got to see stuff coming. I know for me, Avastars, is one of those like IPs that just holds like a special place in my heart. And it's one of those where it's like, dude, I remember spending hours and hours and hours and hours scrolling their damn website, like looking for the fucking Avastars that I wanted to collect, the traits that I liked. And then they had this bounty system where if you found it, you got double what you paid to mint it, right? So you could go and spend 0.08 ETH and then get 0.16 ETH from them for finding like the combination of traits that they wanted. So it was like literally play to earn, right? Or scroll to earn is what they used to call it. So like, yeah, it's got a special place, but it's like, how do you continue to innovate, right? Like we were told there was going to be generations and they were going to do all this stuff. And I think what ended up happening is they were going to work with Josie on generation 2. And then she switched to doing her thing with, CyberBrokers.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I think like, it's interesting. I think I just want to see them do stuff with it. Like it's such a cool IP. Like what comes next, and there's been
CyberBrokers.
Stuff, so.
Yes. CyberBrokers is actually a good example of, you've got the provenance. Everybody keeps talking about, oh, she's an OG. They've been around. Like, obviously we're using the provenance of CyberBrokers as a key value point for why they're rated so high, but they have they're also still building. They're also creating the world, the brand expanding. So I think they're a really interesting example of where you've got a good mix of both, right?
Yep.
They're still doing.
And then they got the technology too, right? Like there's all on chain as well. They've got the SVGs, which are these fucking files that are like, as somebody who likes to tinker and stuff, I was really kind of amazed that like one of my CyberBrokers, she wears a mask, right? Like she's hooked up to this VR system. I love my CyberBrokers. I need to like throw one up on my screen here in a second.
We'll get to it.
The art is so awesome, but like, it was so cool when I realized, like, I went to the Discord and people were talking about like how they were basically checking out their CyberBrokers, and like it felt like this new experience when they released the SVGs. And so I downloaded mine, and it really did, man. I took the headset off and it was like she had green eyes, and like it was like, oh shit, like this is like a different character all of a sudden. So like they have these layers that they can play upon. Like what comes next for that technology, I think is really important, right? Like I think like the fact that yes, it's an OG artist, but it's an OG programmer, right? Who worked on the smart contract. It's an OG marketing team. Her husband is Andrew Steinfeld, or did I say that right?
Yeah.
Is it Steinfeld or is it
Steinwald?
Steinwald.
Who's
she's married?
Who is?
Isn't she married to Andrew
Bellini?
Yeah.
I might be mixing him up with another.
The
dude from Zima Red. Yeah, they had a kid like recently. Anyway. So he's OG. I mean, the whole team is OG, right? So like when you talk about people who have been around and understand the space and understand like what the technology is capable of, like these are pioneers, right? And they're also people who have been proven to build and like progress. So I'm hyped about CyberBrokers for sure. Sorry.
I think we'll hop into CyberBrokers here later in the episode. Biggie, we got some pushback in the GM3 morning show when Gifted was bringing this up. BasedHeads and Cockpunch are on this list, and the feedback was that it was too early to put them on this list. And then I'm going to transition this. I want your take there, but I also have Gifted, who has a large announcement here. What's going on?
Huge announcement. No, I mean, look, I just picked up another one. I couldn't let NFTGO outdo me with his boobies. So I had to get some boobies of my own. So I just picked up this beautiful boobies brand based head. And I think now, Biggie, correct me if I'm wrong, I've got half of the brands. There's 6, right? So I got
Yeah.
three out of 6 of the different brands. And so, yeah,
Nice.
pretty stoked to just pick this one up. And I'm
Did you guys
very
cover
bullish.
this one yesterday?
Yeah.
BasedHeads. Yeah, we've been talking about it.
We got a shout out.
Yeah, Supermassive was tweeting at us and shouted out the show yesterday, which is really cool. And he said he wants to come on during his marathon. He's running a marathon in the metaverse, and he said he wants us to interview him while he's fucking running.
So, yeah, that's what's up. Well, like Curb, which I think is involved with the project, he's the creative director. He's actually somebody who like I connected with early on in the space, and I wanted to let you guys know that he did send me a DM shortly before we went live, basically saying, hey, he wanted to say thank you so much because he saw that the network had been really backing them and saying really positive stuff about the project. He says cheers, and they appreciate it. So
Love it.
That's straight from the team. I'm sure I can reach
Yeah,
back
they
out.
asked about you, Ronin.
Man, I like.
Wait,
that's good.
Which team? Which team are we talking about?
We are
BasedHeads, right?
Based.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Yeah, cool. Sorry, I thought you said another team.
Sorry.
Big.
Yeah, no, yep, Based. So yeah, I mean, those guys, Curb has been really cool. Like we've chatted for a long time. So it's cool to see that, man. I miss so much, man. I honestly, if you look, like I've not been super active on Twitter. So like it's cool to like catch up on some of these projects. I'm scrolling and looking for my own base.
Nice.
It feels good to
Yeah,
be back
Ronin.
in the game, boys.
Boobies,
Like, honestly,
boobies,
like
boobies.
I haven't minted a lot here in a while as well. So I feel like for the OG, like Ronin, Zed Run turned 4 years old today.
Holy.
Like you saying that you're not active on Twitter, like my mind instantly goes to like this is a marathon, not a sprint. And the OGs really, really like there have been people that have just fallen off from the space from the start. You know, like from those people who have been here 2020, even 19, 21, some of those people aren't around. And it's because they got
and it's
burnt
also
out.
become so much more hard to keep up with it, right? Whereas like in the beginning, it was just some very basic PFP, maybe a couple of gaming projects. Now you have so much more. It's expanded so much more that you can really like niche down into a specific sector and dedicate your whole time just to that, right? I've been thinking a lot about that. Sorry about that. That's my daughter's piano.
Let's give is she gonna do a solo for us at some point? Let's get her on the show.
Yeah,
let's give Quantum Variant the flowers that he deserves and wants here. Well, he is the one that actually did mention it first to us when the allow list. That's how we got.
I thought Biggie
knew about the allow list. No, I think it was Quantum Variant first on the GM Web3 show. And you know what? If you don't know Quantum Variant, you should, because he's a thought leader and educator and apparently an alpha maven in the space. So there you go. Not to mention a badass dude. So big love to anybody sharing the alpha.
We're having a chill Thursday here, folks. We were supposed to again be talking AI, have it like really detailed. Right now,
we can talk about ETH Denver anytime you want.
We're having a relaxed episode. If y'all want to talk a topic, we're gonna be here talking it. I do want to give a quick shout out Quantum Variant. I'm not trying to like throw you under the bus there. If you gave us the alpha, you gave us the alpha, and therefore you get a shout out here on NFT Live. He has an awesome Substack as well. I'm trying to find it on his page.
Heck yeah.
Let's make sure. Proof of interest. Yeah, so I'm going to link that here in the chat.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
right on.
Keep up with Quantum Variant.
And
he does a great job.
He's consistent. It's great quality, but he's also consistent. It's not easy as like a solo act. He's his own businessman, his own creator, artist, force, a total force in the space. And that proof, newsletter that he does, he's putting it out regularly. So definitely worth a sub.
Biggie, did I cut you off there before I hopped into Quantum's profile?
No. We were talking BasedHeads and all these other things. I think it was Don R yesterday that mentioned like he would have liked a moment of just like explaining on how how to get into a project or how to research one, right? And like we're talking right now about how this sector is expanding since back in the day. And when we finished yesterday, I just kept thinking about how we've been talking about Cock Punch and about BasedHeads and now about CyberBrokers. And there's a common thread, right, between all of these people, right? These are people that have been building for years, not like maybe not directly in the space, but building their networks, their social capital. And so an approach, I mean, there's many ways to skin a cat, right? When you're investing in the space, you day trader, you can focus on gaming, you can focus on the fine art. I think one of the biggest lessons that many of the OGs, including Gifted's favorite Gary Vee, says is like bet on the jockey, right? And yeah, you love.
Yeah,
But
don't
anyways,
shirk. Don't shirk,
He's
Skip. What are you talking about?
He's not my favorite. I just have
You
eyes.
have
he's
to
your
own it.
favorite.
I can
if-
see the good and the bad, but
No.
like honestly, there's
One
a
time
lot
it-
of good.
But
No, like
it's
hold up. All right, like okay, we won't
What
derail
bad
Biggie for
what
this,
bad
but,
thing
like,
have you said about Gary Vee? One thing.
well, there's definitely businesses
He's from New
that he's
York.
like invested in and dipped on. Like, no, okay, here's an example. He's a Jets fan. No, here's an example. The WAGMI United, where was he on that? Wasn't he a board of advisor? Like, look, I think that there's examples where he's been very wrong or just not done a great job with certain shit. I can see when he does a bad job, and I also think that like he can be obnoxious or hit the same notes. Like, dude, he's been talking about getting on TikTok for several years. He's not wrong, but it's also like he recycles the same shit a lot. Look, I can critique him all day, but I can also point out that like in a space that we literally just spent half of our GM Web3 morning show talking about how it's so full of grifters and fraud and bullshit and bad brands and shitty projects, there's a guy that is actually invested a lot and done way more good. No, like I'm just
passive
saying.
comment, but it's something that I really do believe in, and the only reason I like mentioned him is because I was listening to him on Spaces yesterday with another project called Mintage, and it's precisely what he was talking about. And I was thinking about like so many of these people right now that are quietly or maybe not so quietly like building that are just going unnoticed, and I just wanted to shine a light on some of these projects because. I think, and again, like this is not an alpha show, right? Like this is not financial advice per se. We're just trying to like educate and like show different approaches or angles to different things. And I linked a couple of different. I gave you a couple of links recently, Q, on the spreadsheet. One of them is for Carly Riley's project, which is again, in my opinion, I'm surprised. There's like 880 some. Mints for her project. It's called Overpriced Gin, and I think people are not reading the fine print, right? Like this is a person, again, Carly Riley. I shouldn't have to tell you who she is, right? Like bankless podcaster extraordinaire, deep into the NFT space, building and I mean, just listen to her podcast, incredible. But I think like people see this and they think that what you're buying into is the overpriced gin, right? But if you scroll down to the bottom, the very last little sentence, it's not overblown, it's not highlighted or anything, but it says it'll give you access to to her space, basically, whatever that means. I'll leave that up to you people and your imaginations, but somebody that has been in this space for that long to think that you're just gonna buy like gin from her and that's all you're gonna get value back is wrong. Not to mention that I really do believe in supporting people that bring value to the space. And this is one of these people, right? Second person there that I also linked to you is NFTGO, who recently got his wallet hacked. And I know a lot of people are taking this slant about like he's trying to make his money back or whatever. But again, this is also something that will be a Genesis token to his ecosystem. And if you have enjoyed his content at some point, I believe he's somebody that uplifts people and that brings value to the space. I'm happy to support this, right? And not only that, but if you want to look at it from the cold-headed, investor side, to think that this man's not going to bring value back to his community and to the people that supported him early, it's just bonkers to me, right? And all these people right now, I think, are at very accessible price points. If you want to join in communities that are value add, that are building, that have been building for the longest time, I mean, they are out there. You just need to know where to look. And I think it's the same case with Robert Smith, aka Supermassive. Same thing with Tim Ferriss. Same thing with Gary Vee. I mean, isn't that what Gary Vee says? GIF, jab, 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 right hook. That's what it's all about.
I hope you know that the gifted simp thing is a meme on the show at this point. We actually really do like Gary Vee. Like, we're not actually being like, dude, why do you keep bringing up all these good things about Gary Vee? It's like, I like Gary Vee. I think you're right. And the things that you talk about, he has the right values.
I get it. He's an easy punching bag too. And look, everybody's talking about how they thought that the way that he marketed his books was a bad idea. Maybe so. I can't argue with that. If you've got beef with it, fine. Again, he's not a perfect guy, but nobody is. And as much as he's out there pushing and trying to do shit, I don't know, man. I just think a lot of people are so quick to shit on things, and yet there's a lot of actual bad actors and real places to direct the negativity. And I don't think Gary Vee is really the bad actor in the space. So
it just takes up a lot of airtime, so people are going to talk.
Yeah, he takes up a lot of exactly.
Yeah. So
he's a fucking easy target.
So what's going on?
Crazy. Yeah, I picked up a couple of these.
You did? All right. So then I definitely want to hear Biggie's take on this. This is something that came across our NFTGO radar this morning. It's been trending. Apparently this minted yesterday. And this artist, Lucrece, it has recently had some successful Sotheby's action happening, some kind of Sotheby's partnership. Yeah. He's had some other successful projects like the Monsters. And actually, interestingly about him, his style, his iconic style was recently ripped off by Manchester United, which hurts me to say as a Man U fan. But so the point is, this is a well-known artist that is getting a lot of traction in the space. Food Masku, one of our good friends, the very, very talented performance artist, NFT artist Food Masku, actually came up on Web3 and made a case for why he's so bullish about this artist. And so this is a new drop, and I don't fully understand that much about it yet because it's a large edition of I want to say 8,000. I don't know if we can go back to that real quick. It's a single piece and it's a large edition.
8,000.
If you click on that, click on the one piece and you'll see how many there is. I think it's 8,000, but I guess there's some kind of burning mechanism that's going along with it. But I think people are just really excited and speculating that this artist is going to pop and do big things. Whoa. So I haven't bought one yet, but I've been looking at it around 0.1, and I'm probably going to pick one up here in a minute. So Biggie, why did you?
I think it's justified. So I learned about Lucrece back in the Tezos days, which is where he started doing his monsters and eventually came over to Ethereum. He was part of the Grails season 1 participant. Really cool piece that people minted out from that. And I mean, he's been killing it, as you can see. Now he's in Sotheby's, and I'm glad that that's the reception that he's been getting. I know some people have pushed back because he is somebody that likes using burn mechanisms a lot, which I think are fun. I don't understand what the conflict is here, although he did mention for this particular piece, he didn't say exactly what he's gonna do, but in one of those posts he mentioned that there's a lot more than you can do than just burn. So it'll be interesting to see what he does with this mechanism. It's it's something that I'm really getting jazzed about. And since we're bringing up that, I don't know, let me share this other link with you. This is another
I'll bring that up. Here's the story gift I was mentioning that we heard about. Manchester United accused of plagiarizing the work of NFT artists.
Come on, yeah. Especially that one on the left is both of them. They're very
because of his
inspired.
Yeah, and he's got these monsters, right? He does these monsters. That's his whole thing, right? But I'm actually trying to buy one right now, so it looks like it just actually completed. So I'm in it with you, Biggie. I'm in it. I just got one.
Nice.
Let's go.
Yo,
it's one of these proceed with cautions.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I'm getting bull market vibes, guys. Like live mints are happening at an astounding rate on NFT Live these days.
Let's just say, Q, that my whole 1 mint per month fucking proposition just
Yeah, that's how the
just not gone to fucking according to plan at all. But sometimes the market dictates the degen, right? And honestly, it's something odd that I've noticed over these last couple of years, that like the years seem to be bookended. Like the best projects come out early in the year or late, right before the end of the year. And then like the middle, I mean, maybe you'll get one or two, but it's just a lot of building and hearsay, all the crazy shit that happens in this space.
Yeah.
But for some reason, I've found that that's the way it works, or maybe it's just me trying to gaslight myself into.
Well, there's a lot of
minting.
attention. Yeah, there's a lot of attention paid to those times, right? So it's like a lot of people want to be building, during the slow months in the summer, et cetera, to try and launch into Q3, Q4 for the holidays or whatever it is. And then, beginning of the year is also a great time to be trying to launch something for that year, or people have been developing for months, even working through the holidays to try and launch something. So it's like that all makes sense. I think, you are specifically right now seeing a lot of the bigger projects, especially that have been kind of quiet or have been working and building, for the last couple of months, are starting to wake up and make big announcements. And so I think that's part of where there's a lot more energy in the new year, coming into the new year right now. Also, I'll say, for myself, like I never stopped minting. I'm just one of these crazy fucking people that like, even when I haven't been minting or buying that much, I've still been buying shit because I'm a degen and that's what I do. But also with the ApeCoin staking, with, just the sewer passes dropping, like, that does infuse a little bit more liquidity into the space as well.
I think that's something that we brought up right off the bat. Ronan's going to be back in just a second, but like with the ApeCoin staking, like that was my first take, was like this staking going live is going to be a boon for the space. Like being able to, into Biggie's point, when you look at these drops, like it's not a ton of cash. Like you're getting in at good value opportunities. When you think you're getting in something at 0.1, like the floors on a lot of these like quality drops don't.
Yeah,
really
like a Lucrezi piece is several ETH. Same with Ghosts that came out a couple of date. I think it was like last week. Great entry points if you ever wanted to collect a Ghost piece. I think the more important thing is to know who you're minting from, right? And like what their track record is, and again, that comes down to following the right people in the space. Mm-hmm. And to that note, if you want to pull up that link, Q, I know right now some people, all eyes are on the Grails mint, which is 3/4 of the way to be finished. 750 mints approximately already done, which is insane. Like it usually lasts a lot longer, but people are just really bullish on this season's artist, and I think like everybody just wants to rush the project and find out who it is. But this is another proof a proofer that launched his own proof artist and proofer that launched his own project last year, and he's having a similar Grails mechanism, different approach that is, I don't know, it's really piquing my interest. I'm full disclosure, I am a participant in this project. I really like it. Mm-hmm. And basically this one is called 12 Days of Mint. And what's cool and different about it from Grails is that basically you don't get to find out who the artist is until the 12 days are over. But every day a new piece of art is going to come out, and you're able to mint with one of your passes. And then let's say you mint the first day, but then you like the second day better. You can exchange that. So you can exchange it for the day 2 or the day 3 art, but you can't go backwards. So imagine like if you mint the day 1 and then you have to last through 11 iterations, diamond handing that one and not falling for anything else. It's gonna I'm very interested to see like the quantities that end up in each series, right, of all of these artists. But again, Chris Wallace, he's the founder of Woodsies, which is like also like a doing some really cool stuff in the storytelling IP genre, and he's also a great generative artist. He's got lots of friends and people in the space, and you can pick up a pass right now. They're not too bad, like they're I think at like the 0.2 level. I think the one you showed me there is the Genesis Pass queue, but the other one for the 12 days of minting, the 12 days of generative art is a little bit more accessible. Yeah, 0.25. Okay. So anyways, if you guys are into the fine art space, I think this could be good.
Jax Hideaway is saying, yeah, great gamification. Easy and Crypto saying, looking at BasedHeads. We see you guys in the chat. We appreciate you joining us today. We pressed live about an hour ago. I feel like we're on a really good path. I mean, that hour flew more so than I think I've ever had. I don't even think we got to the quick news yet. Quantum Variant saying staking has been a game changer. Choina is giving some alpha. Is anyone joining the Toshi's whitelist? I sold my Alpaca Cadabra way too early, so this seems like a nice re-entry into Chuchi for me. I just butchered that last name, didn't I? What do you got? Biggie, you are absolutely like killing it, dude. Like you were on the front. Like we're bringing up any random. I just said Alpaca Cadabra. And you're like, yep.
Yeah.
Alpaca Cadabra, the Chuchies.
I don't know, man. I'm telling you, I try to unplug Q, but it just, the matrix keeps pulling me back. And so at some point you just got to stop fighting and surf the wave. And that's what I'm doing right now. And honestly, like, I think, so I'm not a big resolutions type of person, and whenever I do, as you can see, like it just falls apart. But I do have this one thing that I like to do every year, which is like think of a word, just call it my mantra for that year. It's like just something I keep saying over to myself. It's like I want to do, and this year it was to serve, to be of service. Specifically, right? And that's what I'm trying to do here with the community. That's what I'm trying to do over at BasedHeads, at Proof, at every single place that I am. I just want to be of service. I want to be of value to you guys, however I can. And so this is like my attempt at doing that, right? Like, and because of Donar's request yesterday, I really took it to heart, and I was thinking, I was like, I mean, that's pretty much my approach to this market. It's just like follow high value quality people. It's really a no-brainer. You can call it riding the coattails of people smarter than I am, but it works. It freaking works. And I do that with Proof. You know, I am most definitely in the lower echelons of the IQ status there. I'll be learning from that space for freaking years, forever, till the day I die. That's why I'm not selling. Another place I'd recommend, one more, is the Real Vision NFT Pass. It's been out for about a year. Again, overlooked. Raoul Pal, huge, like hedge fund, like megastar. Like, just look at his videos, look him up on YouTube. Been building before Web3, before crypto, before any of this, and I love these things. Basically he's building the platform where you will handle your financial future. You know, I mean, how valuable is that? It's something that's never been done before, and I mean, it's run up, but again, super high quality space to be in and to learn from people that are just super smart, man. And so
I don't know why you don't like the flowers, man. You're getting the flowers in the
I
chat.
love
You're
them.
getting
I
the
love
flowers
them.
on the screen. All right, fellas, I'm getting more links. I'm definitely down to get these. I do want to kind of use GiftEd's term, re-ranch the room. The topics for today are going to be CyberBrokers, because we have Ronin. Ronin, let me know. Are you good? Do you have a hard stop at all? I just want to make sure that we get to the CyberBrokers news and we're able to get to it with your experience there.
Yeah, probably about like 10 minutes. I've got to pick up the kids today from school.
Got it. Okay, so we're going to get into CyberBrokers in just a sec. We got another link here from Biggie, so we'll drop that there. A lot of flowers going your way, my man. Gift, before we hop into CyberBrokers, did you want to touch on anything specific besides the fact that Crypto Hasbulla NFTs minted out? Thank you so much, Gabe, for pointing that out.
I did want to comment on what Biggie was just sharing, and that's that, you know, there's a bunch of different like cliches, well-known cliches about, you know, your network is your net worth, or you are the sum of, you know, your 5 closest friends, things like that. I think that's what's so powerful about some of these communities that you can get into, like Biggie was sharing a couple of them, but also why I'm getting more and more interested in the whale tracking tools on NFTGO, and I need to spend more time doing that kind of analysis and finding like who are the people, like maybe it's Wilcox, like who, like, you know, it's like, dude, Wilcox is the biggest fucking whale in the space, apparently. Why am I not following that guy? You know what I mean? Like, I have not ever been a star fucker. I don't follow a bunch of influencers. I kind of build my own trusted, you know, brain trust and then follow my intuition mostly. But I do think, you know, I might be able to 2x, 5x, you know, my own moves in the space if I started, you know, paying attention to some of these whales. So anyway, NFTGO has a lot of tools around that I'm excited that we're going to dig more into this year.
Yeah, let's get into that. I also want to go into some other data that we've been covering here for the past week that we get. I think we have a little bit more clarity on what actually happened with the looks rare stuff based on like digging into some tweets. But Ronin, before you go, I mean, we covered CyberBrokers yesterday when they had that release, but I definitely want to cover CyberBrokers again. I don't even know where to start. Do you want to start on the website? Do you want to start on your thoughts? You did also, before I forget, you dropped the comment on BasedHeads. BasedHeads having a 10,000 supply. Did you want to touch on that at all before we jump in? And I can hop us into CyberBrokers as well.
Yeah, I like, so I was looking because I'm like, all right, well, I like the collection. I like the people involved. Like, I think that like, this is one that definitely could have legs, right? So I'm looking through it and I'm just thinking like, man, why did they have to do 10,000? Like, why are we still stuck on that damn number of 10,000? It's an oversupply. Like, it's too much.
We're clamoring for you in there, Ronin. We need you.
Like, it's one of those things where it's like, damn, man, like, I wish you would have done like 5, you know?
Can
like,
I say one thing though, Ronin? In this particular case, I think it's justified. If you look at what his proposal is basically to be the Mr. Beast of the metaverse. And in order to generate that like flywheel of social media engagement and clout, you want as many people involved as possible, right? And so I think like it's justified, and we're seeing it right now with the participation. I literally have like a YouTube like tab open on mute with a playlist of all the videos from BasedHeads, and it's just running on a loop. It's just running on a loop. So and like we're all doing that in there.
Yeah.
And we're all like bombarding this one celebrity to like get attention. And I think it works. In this particular case, I think it's justified to be a larger collection. But I think you're right. Most of them should not be 10,000. But in this one,
it makes it difficult,
works.
right? Like, we've talked about this in the past about like what makes like, how can you do the best that you can, right? Like, if you're running a project to like set yourself up for success. And like, one of the things that like I've talked about a lot is like your floor has to be like super like as interesting as like all your rarest, right? And like, these are super interesting and I love the art, but like, it is one of those projects where unfortunately, like when you scroll a little bit, like it does feel like there's a lot of the repeating traits, and it's a lot of like the repeating, like it almost feels like, oh, this looks like the dude that's 2 rows above him, right? Like almost exactly, but he's got a different weapon. So the uniqueness of them doesn't feel right. Like, so it makes the floor difficult to like actually get picked up, right? Like, and so it's just one of those things that you deal with when you have such a huge like collection, and then you have you're dealing with like the volume issues that we're dealing with now. So, but I grabbed 2.
Nice. What'd you go for, Ronin?
I'll throw them up here.
What brands you go for?
God damn. Supermassive, are you watching this? Like,
we're doing it.
In
the
chat.
Whole crew.
Well, I definitely had to grab one that was a boobies, right? Because that's what everybody's jumping into. But this other one was really sick too.
Arafim is in chat saying, I pulled the trigger. Shout out Biggie for bringing the Primo heat. Fraz brand bullish. We got some Fraz. But go ahead. Roni, you could share your screen probably. I could pull it up.
Oh, shithead. Here we go. Shithead. Yeah, man. Here it is. BasedHeads. There you go.
Nice.
So you can check that out.
Nice.
That was like one of them, and then the other one I grabbed was
with the Mohawk.
See, I got my Defy too.
The Mohawk's dope.
The Mohawk's super cool. Oh shit! Oops. I always forget how this website works. But I thought like the cool, like the headset, like they're both of them.
Oh
really
shit!
Cool, like,
I haven't even. Yeah, dude, you've got traits. I haven't even seen yet. Yeah,
So
that fist thing is fucking
yeah,
dope.
Fist is pretty cool. The
Yeah.
art's cool, man, and that's one of those things that like
That's what I
you
think,
can lean
bro.
straight up into the art, and like if you get enough eyes on it,
People,
that's what
yeah.
matters, right? So
Dude, people were hating on it, Ronin. When it first
I think it's
revealed,
cute.
people
I
were
think it's cool.
shitting on it.
I think it's
As
cool.
like it's way cooler and more unique and interesting than a lot of stuff out there. I'll say that much. And like the one thing that I agreed with is that it would have been cool to see multiple base characters, but beyond that, dude, I think it's actually pretty well done.
Yeah.
I did have one tweet I want to link again. This is the NFT live tweet, folks, for today. The community topic winner is going to win a Sarah Script Open Edition that just launched. I bought 3 this morning, so I'm giving you guys one if you're a community topic. Listen, I might have to go and buy another because this comment from Prodigy, I think before we let you go, Ronin, you're definitely like hyper focused on this topic. Prodigy's saying, let's get to this topic early, and this is for GIF. But also, I think, Ronin, again, I think I want to get your take here. Let's talk crypto and mental health and how to be as balls deep into the space as y'all and not go crazy. Health is wealth in 2023. We said we would get to this one day, our vibe, our tribe. And you're actually doing some work in this regard, too, on the content side. So can you speak to it before you leave? Shout out to
yeah.
Prodigy.
So to that point, actually, I think I'm gonna have I think we got one more meeting like this week or next, and then I guess here's a little bit of like alpha for just shit that I've been doing. But I started recording a podcast about a month and a half ago with another guy in the space. His name's Trislit, Trislit. And he's been in the space for a long time. He was actually a co-founder of NFT42 when it originally launched with like Jimmy ETH and them, and helped launch Avastars. But we started a podcast, and that podcast is about mental health and Web3. And we're basically having the conversation of like what we've been up to recently and how we've been like mentally. And I think that the conversation has been really, really good. I think we've had some really great topics. We've talked through some really cool moments, right, in the space, like the FTX thing and some other stuff. And I think we've got, what's really cool is that we're both just like, you can tell we're both like just empathetic type people, and like we're very like we care about other people's feelings, and like so it's really allowed for us to like have a good conversation that I think other people might find to value in, right? The goal is now that we've got like 4 or 5, I think we've got actually 5 or 6 episodes already recorded. We're going to start bringing in guests from the space, and that's what we want to talk about, right? Like we want to talk to them about, you know, how they deal with this shit. How do you deal with being in this space and it never turning off? How do you, you know, I want to chat with, you know, Yuga and all these other massive teams. And like, how do you deal with the pressure of knowing that like so many people are depending on you to constantly provide like monetary value in their life? You know, how do you deal with the lows? How do you, you know, talk to the Artifact team and talk to those guys about like, how did that feel when you woke up and you're like, oh, we shit the bed on this drop, like, but how do we come back for that, right?
When you were first describing to me this podcast, like the thing that stuck out to me is you weren't talking about the project. You're talking about like the stories behind the project and the people. Yeah,
it's really important. Like somebody, I think like people like ask like, so exactly when they're trying to figure it out. And like the example that I use is, you know, I've had the pleasure of befriending JR, who a lot of people know in the space as one of the founders of Oni Force.
Oni.
Yep. Thank you, GIF. And through time, I've gotten to like become a friend. And what I learned is that, you know, what's that saying? The higher you get or whatever, the harder you fall or whatever it is, right? Is so true for so many people, man, because the pressure is so real. And like one day, you know, he shared his story with me, and I just realized that like if someone like this had the opportunity to sit down and have a conversation and talk about like the shit they went through and how they were affected mentally and you know, how they know they effed up and because they, you know, they dealt with stuff that we all deal with, right? Like, but they did it publicly and they did it with like so much weight on their shoulders. And we don't ever give them the moment, right, to come back after the fact and say, hey man, this is what happened. And I genuinely feel this way. Right. So, and I think right now, just everybody's dealing with that. Everybody's dealing with like, oh man, I put, you know, money into these projects and like they all went to zero and I'm broke. And I, you know, and some of us saw some really insane like numbers in our, you know, quote unquote bank accounts, right, in our wallets that were like we were memorized by. And then one day we woke up and they were a third of that. And that mentally takes like a huge, massive toll on any human being.
Those unrealized gains. He was saying how stressful that metric on NFTGO is, seeing like, because they literally have like on.
Does it lay it out for you?
Profiles. You can go to people's profiles and literally see
God,
their P&L, and they literally break out realized versus unrealized P&L.
Oh man,
and he's just
I
like,
would
he's just like,
go cry in a corner for fucking hours. I imagine.
For that. NFTGO, have a toggle for that one.
Mental, like health wise, like that's like one of those things like people talk about. Like
Torture
I share
yourself.
this. Oh, dude, and you can, and people do it to themselves, man. And we had a really good conversation about this on the podcast. I think it's like the second or third episode. We talked about how like you can, like people do this. Like I shared a story about how I got to Bored Apes. I minted 6 of them. You know, I ended the weekend with like 5 or something, right? And at one point, or I minted a red laser beam, which if you're not familiar with the collection is like one of the rarest traits you can get. And I sold it for like 1.6 ETH or something, 1.68, I think is the exact number. And everybody's like, so how much is it sold for? And I'm like, I literally have never gone back and looked ever. Not a damn single time. Like, why?
Yeah.
Because it is bad for your mental health, man. I made my gains. I spent 0.08 on that shit and I made 1.68. That number is massive, right? And then you look at what we did with Retho's collection, it doesn't matter. So you realize that you can do that to yourself, right? And I love I really appreciate everyone showing Trizlet some love. I'm gonna have to like send him the link. Everybody's like talking about how much they love the man, and he's taken on a lot recently. You know, he took on man, my mind just went totally blank. His community. Somebody in chat, please save me. It just my mind just went blank. I talk to him every week, like twice a week. But doing really cool stuff, man, creating content for the space for a very long time. And if you guys don't check him out, follow him, check out his Discord server, you know, and we're producing a podcast, and I think the first episode hopefully will be out in the next couple of weeks. So
what do we know the name yet? Are you allowed to say it yet, Ronin?
Is this the first time you talked about it publicly? Like,
yeah. This is the first time I've talked to like anybody outside of really of like, you know, just reaching out to people like you, Q, and just being, hey, this is an idea I got, and this is kind of something we're doing. Token Smart. Thank you. I kept wanting to say Token Proof. It's Token Smart. But yeah, so in a couple weeks, we've got 2 names that were gifted to us from good old ChatGPT. And we're trying to decide on which one to go with. They both were fire compared to the names we were throwing out there. So, but I feel really good about it, man. I'm really excited. I can't wait to share that with people. Hopefully, you know, people will find some help and some knowledge in that. You know, we try to talk about what we're going through and also how we're dealing with the shit that we go through. And we're pretty raw and honest, man.
Dude, I have a lot. You know, if you ever want to talk about our whole story, I've got a lot, because I've got a co-founder who has been through a lot of shit, not to mention my own stuff. But I tweeted out all my BasedHeads, and I tagged Supermassive, and I said, "What do you think of them boobies?" And he just replied. He just replied and he said swag, and I'm like, yeah, let's go.
Gotta run, man. Any last words for the folks out there, or anything? You just talked about what you're working on, so.
That's kind of the stuff I've got going on, man. I'm really excited about that. I don't know if I mentioned it here or not, but like now I'm like kind of on my own. So I also started, my own little like consultant agency. Hopefully I'll be like kind of putting out there who I've been working with, soon. That'll be coming out. Outside of that, I really do think like if you have not looked into crypto brokers, on top of all the gold that Biggie shared earlier, add that one to the list, check it out, do your research as always. But I think that project has got legs. So, man, I appreciate you guys. And I appreciate everyone talking about, one of the things I'm so thankful for, man, is how like mental health has become like something that we can talk about, and like nobody feels fucking awkward about it. Right. Like nobody's like it used to be such like a weird conversation, and like people would get so awkward. Like we can talk about it as men, right? Which is difficult in itself, but like we can talk about it with a massive community and actually like have people that give a fuck and like, want to share like their experiences and also help you like do your shit, you know? So
I'm trying to use this analogy for people that haven't been like seriously injured. Like I tore my ACL, and like when you get a surgery, you lose the ability to walk, and
Right.
you start to realize like how just like daily walking, like getting up and moving to the
Yeah.
kitchen is like a something you should be grateful for. And now
How
that
much
you
we
say
take
that
for
stuff,
granted.
now that you say that
Yeah.
stuff, like Lad City and now Web3 and this like family's like, I think that's kind of how I feel. Like me and Ronan, we've been doing this for so long that like I think we don't see the benefit as much as like on the daily. But if it was taken away from us and you guys out there, like I think that would be a massive hole in a space that moves so fast. So yeah.
Dude, I owe this crew right here in our little niche community so much. And on that topic, bro, I just shared my screen. Something just happened around this beautiful family vibe, this community. We just got tweeted out by NFTPlazas, which is like one of the bigger like
Fuck yeah.
media's channels, as probably the most authentic NFT YouTube content out there.
let's
Like,
go,
what?
man. Thank you
What?
so much.
Let's
Whoever's
get it.
hanging out and whoever's like part of that like community
Fucking
that like
respect.
Who's lurking?
yeah, man.
Yo.
That's huge, man. Thank you.
Hey, NFTQ, drop this in the fucking chat. Y'all, put some love on.
Authenticity is important.
We don't get any fucking attention from like outside of our little
Yeah.
bubble normally. Like people are starting to find out that we're here every
That's-
fucking day. So give it some love because this is huge for
you link
this in
that?
our tribe.
you
Yeah,
link
dude.
that in my
I'll drop it right
That's
now.
awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing that before I jump. I do got to jump though. I got to go
Yeah,
get my kids
beautiful.
from school, man. They're looking forward to daddy picking them up in his new car. So I'll holler at you guys
Tesla,
later.
baby.
Let's go.
Drive safe,
Have a
Ronan.
good one.
Drive safe.
Later, bro.
Big love. Yo, nobody, dude, like when we dropped our fucking press release, when we were like rolling out this new network, nobody fucking paid attention. Nobody cared. Like nobody gives a shit except for us. But I think, you know what? We just keep showing up. And that's, I think, the power of authenticity, but also consistency, bro. Like we're just going to keep doing it. No matter what the market's doing, no matter what anybody else says or doesn't say, no matter if anybody else cares, like we've got something that we value. We've got something here and we get something out of it, man. And I think, you know what? Looks like some other people are starting to pay attention, and that's fucking cool. So shout out NFTPlazas. You know what? I use NFTPlazas every single day as one of the media sources that I check out for headlines. And you know what? I don't mind plugging them, giving them some love since they just showed some respect for what we do. That's fucking dope.
Seriously. Really, really cool.
I'm working
Awesome
on two
to
right
hear.
now. Go ahead, Biggie.
Oh, awesome. Yeah. Quick retweet, quote retweet, right? Man, how cool is fucking Ronin, man? Like, seriously, give that man some love. Like, he's always like so fucking zen, you know? And I love how he's able to talk about these things so freely. It's true. Like, you know, like I think, you know, it's just so much better when you have a community, right? Like when you have people to share and go on this journey. It's not easy to. I did it alone for a very long time. It was not fun. And yeah, it does get to you. You do burn out, you know. But if you can find a community where you feel like you can vibe and gel, man, that's gold right there. And honestly, like I don't know, it's weird. It like makes me. It like this news. It's like it makes me so happy for all of us here. At the same time, I'm like, please don't bum rush our fucking community like with a bunch of fucking shit. Please don't. You know, it just feels so nice to know everybody here on the chat, you know, and like in the Discord. But hey, everybody's welcome, right? Like that's what we're all about, and it's really, it feels nice to feel acknowledged, right?
Absolutely. I want to get to some of the comments, man. We're getting hit. If I continue to go down this rabbit hole, I'm gonna like end in tears. So I'm just gonna come back to the chat here. Eric saying super imperative to address here. Mad props, Ronin. I'm from the medical background and found the mental connection to health most relevant here. Prodigy was talking about being tough mentally, and it's tough to do so. And when we have financial assets that are going up and down every day, and we have to deal with that. Jack Side was saying metaverse is digital accelerated and amplified practice for IRL mental health. Novo was apparently in the hospital, Tron is saying, so people dealing with that. Jack's Hideaway, Token Smart, Marty McFly saying squiggled out. Okay, a lot of fucking comments. We're way back.
Honestly, Q, what you were saying right now, it's a marathon, not a sprint, right? Like that's why I'm such a huge advocate of like approaching this space not as a flipper, right? Like don't think of yourself as a flipper. Don't approach it as a day trader. Very few people are successful that way, right? Like go for the stuff that you're really passionate about. Like make commit. Like that's why I think this year's the year of community. I mean, as cliche as for some people that it may sound, like I think that's the real leverage. That's where you're going to see the biggest wins come from. And all of the projects that we've mentioned here right now, I think their base layer, their biggest strength is their community. And they've been building that, whether it's for years in the background and just launched their project, you know, like it doesn't happen overnight. Like it takes effort and you have to like be there all the time, right? And it's not easy. So if you're going to be in this space 24/7, don't be a fucking flipper, you know? Like find shit that you're really passionate about, that you like, people you respect, and follow them, learn, you know? That's all I can say, man. Because we're still in the fucking like beginning of all of this, right? If you want to be here 10 years from now and enjoy the fruits of all of our labors, collective labors, then yeah, like pace yourself. You gotta pace yourself. So yeah, shout out to Ronin for that.
Great takes all over the place. I want to definitely make sure we're covering a little bit more on today's episode. Smurf Dab is saying, is anyone on VV? Well, I guess we can get to that in just a second. We got a lot of OVOTs here in chat. Michael Ritters is saying, thank you, Web3. A lot of OVOTs coming through. We see you, Easy. Speak Easy is going to be tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard. That is one of the best spaces. Easy in Crypto and Kane Mayfield get after it at 9 p.m. on Web3 Twitter. A lot of lurkers, just in case he's saying, and everybody's just giving a lot of flowers out today. Jack Sideway saying, once again, CyberBrokers flies under the radar. That conversation initially started with us trying to get into CyberBrokers, and 30 minutes later, I think we blacked out, and we're back. So we'll get a little bit back on track here, but we're going to continue covering CyberBrokers. We got so much more to cover here on today's episode, but if you can sweep those floors, leave a like. We appreciate it so much. Asmodai's reminding people to do so as well. All right, NFTGO market overview. The sentiment's a little bit better than yesterday. Again, like there's probably some analytics here that go behind this. The market sentiment index, experimental.
Well, when Jared talked about this, he said that there's multiple different metrics that go into this one metric. I'm sure the sewer passes are playing a big role. In this. So
the four metrics it looks like that they're saying, to your point, are volatility, trading volume, social media, and Google Trends. Score is updated every hour. So traders looks like a little bit half and half there, buyers and sellers. Y'all are still in the loss here. So don't talk to me on this show about your gains, because clearly everybody's still in the loss. Blue chip index 30 days. We saw a little bit of a bump. Obviously, we started the year with a bang there from the blue chip index. We saw a major rise in both NFTs and ETH price and Bitcoin price, which is sitting at like 21K. Market cap and volume over the 30 days in ETH. You switch that to USD, it looks a little bit better, but we're kind of keeping pace with ETH at this point. Holders and traders, holders consistently up over the last 30 days. Trading, I wouldn't pay too much attention to this drop. That's just a daily. So we're kind of holding. Category and market cap. This was interesting. I was fucking around with this a little bit, and market cap and volume. Look at land here. Look at land. Land is the only one really that, and land and gaming, I believe, have like a 50% drop from their market cap to volume. Everything else kind of holds. So gaming and land seem to be outsized. Like not many people are trading it, but they hold a consistent amount of value.
I was gonna say, Q, they're not making it anymore, but they are in this particular case, right?
Yes.
But it's valuable, damn it.
It is valuable. Buy my sandbox land. Top collections, collection distribution. Obviously, the sewer passes were making up a ton of the volume over the last 7 days. 24 hours definitely number one. Yuga taking up a bunch. Art blocks there. CloneX, Azuki there as well. So Really like this edition again, like I said, of NFTGO. We were on their spaces last night as well. Here's some marketplace stuff. It looks like OpenSea and Blur X2Y2. Okay, this is a good time. We've been talking about that 60% wash trade, and GIF, I think we were talking about it, debating it, you should say, here on today's show. I think I got to the bottom of this shit. So this is a 44%. This is this year. This is active, because this is an active dashboard. The number that was thrown out last year in 2022 was 60%. And
I'm pretty sure, and you might be right, but my understanding is that 45% is all time.
Okay, could be all time.
So that's like everything.
Okay,
so that includes this year, includes 2022, everything, and that's where, because you saw in the headlines, a lot of it said 45%. That's what it's referring to, is all Ethereum trading across everything. Almost half of it is all wash trading. But then when you look at just 2022 as a window, all the volume in 2022, that's where you get the 60%.
Yeah.
So it was even higher, so more than half.
Okay, so I think I got to the bottom of this. Dude, I think it's honestly, like, you bringing this to the attention of everybody is the reason we're having this combo. So, like, that's already, like, legit, and we're going to get more knowledgeable based on doing this. Because I would never have come into this.
Wash trading ninjas.
Well, I would have.
Just going to be fucking calling them out, slapping them around.
Wow. Get him, GIF. Bruce Lee and shit. All right, so here's the deal. This is a overall wash trading chart. So we're talking about wash trading, talking about it all time. This obviously stands out. So the you're looking at all volume on ETH there. Okay, that is 2022 January. Okay, so it's in the year of 2022, and all of this black is in the year 2022. But here's
in January, 80%.
Yes. Okay, so basically what I was able to kind of deduce from this is LooksRare's airdrop and the way that they launched the token is leading to all of this negative FUD, which we're hearing about 60% of the wash trading. Because as you can see, since May, we've seen a total volume decrease, but we've also seen like wash trading not skyrocket like you see here. So one thing really quick. This coincides directly with the launch of the LooksRare token. So what we got to the bottom of was, look, we're sitting here, we're like, damn, LooksRare and X2Y2 make a bunch outsized, and we still haven't figured this part out because it says total wash trading volume. So it looks like total volume. Okay, so $26 billion here for LooksRare total. 98% of that was wash traded based on this airdrop. The
incentives were off, so they didn't properly incentivize their airdrop, and so people were just gamifying the airdrop by wash trading a shit ton to get more LooksRare.
So the total wash trading all time apparently is 30 bill, 26 bill, so probably 25.5 billion is just the LooksRare airdrop. Which fucking
and meanwhile,
sucks.
Our government goes over an obscure Russian fucking DEX that nobody uses, right? What the fuck? Best I can do.
No, but this is really, though, to me, one of the biggest. What I'm getting from this is, like, yes, it exposes that there is a larger systemic problem, but actually, this is super damning. It's more of an expose on specific marketplace tactics, and like LooksRare and X2Y2 to me are being outed through this report as like
should get more
not
news.
Very legit.
It should make more news. Most people don't. This is another point you were making on the GM Web3 Morning Show was we need to call out what other people out on the outside, not in our bubble, are hearing. What they're hearing is 60% of NFTs are wash traded, and the actual truth is that this all occurred in a 2-month window in 2022, and it was because of the LooksRare airdrop, and LooksRare should be put on blast for this shit.
Not all of it. No. Yes, not all of it, but yes. Also,
did you see that
now,
chart?
I'll be now it'll be curious to see what happens once Blur is unlocked, which I think they announced already, right? Like next month, February 14th or something like that.
We did get a comment early. We got a comment early that was talking about
Blur
getting pushed back.
let's
Oh.
find that specific date, because as a service to our amazing audience, let's give an update on, because I actually last night, with a little bit of that liquidity I got from flipping my tier 4 sewer pass, I went on to Blur and actually started putting in a bunch of bids to start, because I haven't been participating in this airdrop at all. So I'm going to be going and doing bids now, trying to get something out of this airdrop. So yeah, let's find out that date if we can. But basically, the way to get in on Blur Airdrop 3, which they say is the biggest, most important one, again, that could all just be fucking marketing bullshit to get everybody to do it, be on their platform. But they say it's the biggest one. What you have to do is actually go put ETH onto their platform, which does require you signing a transaction and moving some ETH into the platform to add bids. Most people will be happy that you don't have to use WETH doing it this way. You can actually add ETH into a wallet. It's kind of custodial on their platform. Again, I don't really love that per se, because it's kind of like an FTX situation where you're centralizing or putting your trust for your bag into this platform and leaving it on the platform for at least a little bit. So I don't love that, but that's how you do it. You move some ETH into a custodial wallet on Blur through a transaction, just costs a couple bucks gas, and then having that, you're able to put a bunch of bids on the collections. It did say again when we were going through the details that you want to be focusing on the bigger ones that have volume primarily. Obviously, you can put in bids on a lot of things, but it sounds like they're going to be weighting a lot of the higher volume collections that are seeing more action and more trades. That's probably where you want to focus more of your bids. And also, the closer that you are putting your bids towards the top, they're going to be weighting that also into how they're rewarding people. So that's a few updates on that.
Is this time sensitive? Can we have an episode on Monday where we kind of go over what you just talked about?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I just wanted to mention it, and let's stay on it, because let's not let our fans, if they want to try and get in on the airdrop, forget that this is happening. Because to Biggie's point, it's probably ending in the next week or two, right?
Yeah, definitely. It's like the last innings to make any moves if you're looking to get in on that. That's good. I want to hear about this Denver thing that you guys were talking about. Oh, can I I have not been dropped this alpha properly.
Let's do it.
Should we do a full episode just on ETH Denver? I don't know, man.
Do that too. We got a full week next week. It feel like I'm saying,
look,
bull market vibes are back.
FOMO.
Here's what we'll say right now. If you're cool enough, dope enough, badass enough, based enough to still be hanging out with us right here, right now, just know that ETH Denver is going to be one of the dopest, most anticipated conferences of 2023. Why? Because it's actually community-led, well-organized, focused on actual building. It's in a really cool city outside of the main clusterfucks of LA and New York and Miami. It's in Denver in the middle of the winter. So it's got a very different vibe, and the people that show up there, those are the real ones. Those are the real ones that you want to be networking with. Those are the real builders that believe in this technology. And it's built around a hackathon that is organized by the Spork DAO. It's a real DAO. It's not one of these fake bullshit DAOs. Like we said, you have to qualify now. It's an R DAO. It's a real DAO that's been putting on this event for a long time. And they make it free. They make it free to a lot of people. Absolutely. But look, 2022 at Denver was amazing. 2023, I think it's going to be just as good or better. And part of it is because now it's in one centralized location. Last year, you had to waddle like a penguin in freaking winter, from one building to the other one, and hope you didn't get step into a puddle. So that was kind of fun, though. That was part of the fun. Good. Yeah. All right. But look, here's the quick alpha. We've got multiple Web3 locations, and we will share more details with y'all over the coming weeks. But just know Web3 is going to be there big time, and we want all of our friends to be part of what we're doing there. So let's just say that for now.
Let's go. Gift that with the biggest announcement on NFT Live since I don't know when. All right, we're going to watch this and see what happens. It's my first time. Oh, God.
Let's go.
That's
Yeah.
legit. So
On
Sport DAO has an NFT. It looked like there at the end. You saw a bunch
The
of
buffer
Buffercorn.
The buffer
Yeah.
corn?
So the Buffercorn can help get you like access or some kind of VIP. I don't know the specifics. I know that they normally provide free access through a really simple application process. That's how I get it. I already got accepted. I don't know if that's still open, but if you go to their website, you can see what the application process is. Yeah, you might have to buy an NFT at this point if they closed it, but it's really
even if you,
it's way more accessible.
And even if you don't get a ticket to attend the event, the main event itself, as we've discussed in this channel many a time before, it is still very much worth it to be at this place with so many builders around. There's all kinds of extracurriculars activities happening after the event that are just, if not even more valuable. So definitely don't feel discouraged if you're late to get a ticket or anything. Like, you can still go and get tremendous value from it just being around there.
Awesome stuff. I want to give a quick shout out to NFTGO. Obviously, we're using their stuff, but I also want to put in a feature request on these lines here. It's tough to kind of make out the actual floor price as opposed to, like, obviously the dots being individual sales. So if you guys could give us a look at that, where we could see that and we can have everyone at home see it a little bit better as well, that'd be dope. All right, any last things on Denver? I'm super stoked. The venues look fucking sick. The partners that we're even talking with last night, some other content creators. We're working in the background, folks, just to let you know. So Easy is saying, hope I can afford to get out to eat Denver this year. We'd love to see you out there, brother. We'll talk afterwards as well. Definitely want all the Web3 fam out there in Denver for this. So excited, man.
For sure.
Okay. All right, we're gonna get into something I feel really torn about is this crypto Hasbulla drop. Obviously, y'all know how much I love Hasbulla. I use him as a meme literally every day of my life. His meme ability is literally top 3 in the entire world. It's like Hasbulla, cats, and maybe Donald Trump. Like I don't know. Like those are like the 3 most, I feel like, memeable people that are thrown into GIFs and all these different things. He had an NFT drop. We've been talking about it. Whenever I talk about this drop, know that I'm not telling you to buy this stuff. I feel, again, conflicted because it's Hasbulla and I love him and he's hilarious when it comes to his content. But I just want to show you like how it's being marketed. And
I thought you were going to show us how he's using the money. The utility.
Yeah, strip clubs probably. Although I think he's like super religious. But anyways, it says, friends, I'm launching a new NFT collection on January 19th. Ethereum smart contract. NFTs will include many online and offline benefits. I'll be playable avatars in a video game. And then you go to the and you go to the website, and like this is the website. So they already have the fact that it's sold out. So if y'all are looking for, this is what's being taken. So, dude, Hasbulla, I love you, brother. Like your content is fucking amazing. But this is the type of like extractive drops that we've been talking about here for a long time, and it's unfortunate. It did sell out. I'll look at the floor price here related to mint, but yeah. Sucks.
Yeah, this feels very extractive and exploitive, unfortunately, because I too love Hasbulla for his character. What a character he is and his meme ability. And we like to joke around, but we gotta keep it a century, y'all. We're not gonna gaslight people into thinking that this is probably a very good quality project with a lot of longevity behind it. Maybe you can get in and make a few quick bucks, but I will not be touching this. We might joke around about it a lot on the show, but like, to just be totally transparent, I'm not getting anywhere near buying any of these.
Yeah. It sucks too, because like I was looking to buy into the first edition. So this is a second edition. That's another thing. It's like, we're talking about this dilution of NFTs, and he doesn't give a fuck about this stuff. Like,
no,
it's clearly they're launching it.
So this is the most damning piece of this to me, is that within a short amount of time, he's launching what looks like a very similar separate project that in no way, as far as I can tell, is driving utility or value back to the original collectors. Like if that's the case, that's all you need to know. Like that's all you need to know. He's not concerned about his collectors at all. He's not concerned about scarcity. He's not concerned about value. He's not concerned about propping up the other one. He's just concerned about taking advantage.
Look at the floor price and the offers for this thing.
So
I mean, we just discussed like a bunch of projects that you could get into at these prices from native, respected Christie Sotheby's sold artists like Crazy, like Ghosts. But I mean, okay. Come on.
I'll push back here. This is the way the world works, Biggie. This guy is one of the most known people on Instagram, TikTok, like in the world.
Unfortunately,
the value is
living meme.
Yes, literally on that.
Living meme.
A living meme.
But I agree with you. I agree with you with the quality of project.
Mini meme.
Mini meme. All right, just to be transparent here, I mean, we were talking about this Hasbulla project, and it's on Polygon, so like I haven't set my Polygon network up in a long freaking time on my new laptop. But 0.24 was the ETH price there when we were talking about it. So there was some run up here. It's at 0.36 now. This is the version 1, and to Gifted's point, like I'm not sure that they're gonna look all that different from these originals. So you have. Let me make sure I'm getting this right. 2,000 here. So the original drop wasn't that big. I'll throw it out there. It's not like a 10,000 and another 10,000. But at the same time, I don't think he's done much to increase demand for these. It's just another attempt at, in my opinion, getting
just by living and being himself. That's all he's got to do. So, you know.
Yeah. All right,
who knows? This might end up being our Kramer moment, where like watch fucking a year from now, these things are worth fucking 15 ETH, and like we're just sitting here like, well, should have bought the meme. So you know what?
Added a bunch of value. Came out with a dope video game.
Everything I said about Hasbulla.
Yeah, I've bought into several projects entirely because of the meme. So we could be totally talking out of our asses and be completely wrong on this. Maybe it's a great idea. I'm just not going to be buying one.
Yeah. To be fair, again, the meme ability here. This is NFTGO. Last 24 hours, even passing sewer pass, even moving past sewer pass is Crypto Hasbulla's. The amount of sales here, 700.
Well, it's based on sales, not on volume, but sales.
We can hit volume.
Yeah.
So third in volume.
Creeping up. Yeah.
So sewer passes.
But we've seen it happen before, right? With the Trump NFT, with other stuff. We know how this stuff goes. So tread lightly, folks.
Okay, so I do have to run. I think we all do. It's an hour 45. Jacob has a life that we need to let him live. But on the thumbnail, again, it was going to be an AI episode. We had to kind of scramble last minute to see what other topics, but it ended up being a fantastic episode. The thumbnail is related to sewer passes. We touched on those early. A Dookie Dash is coming out. Did we have any other topics, or if you guys had any other comments on?
Maybe you should make dude. Maybe the thumbnail should be a Hasbulla. I'm just saying. Maybe enough sewer pass stuff's been done. Maybe Hasbulla is maybe that's the clickbait that we need to really make the show pop.
Oh man,
I can do that. I can see what I could shove up in the kitchen.
Maybe you should, Q. I'm just saying.
Maybe we should have bought Crypto Hasbulla at 0.24. I don't know. We're
you definitely should have right now, as of today.
So super passes 17,000 have been claimed. I think it was a 24-hour claim window, if I'm not mistaken. And there were
you can claim longer, but there's only 24 hours till the game starts. But no, I think the claim is open longer.
Okay. Maybe we can hop into the FAQ. One thing I did want to touch on here, floor price has risen. So initially when these were coming out, I think the floor prices were like 1.5. They dipped down to about 1.3. I guess I should just hop into the actual fucking data, right? Let's go into floor price here. Where's floor price? I'm still getting the hang of this. Here we go.
Yeah. I have a feeling that this weekend I'm gonna feel really dumb, but like Ronan's probably right that after this weekend it'll dip back down. But I feel like Like right now, even if you go to the floor on tier 4s, they're back up just under 5.
Yeah, which is where they're
I'm already
starting.
like, oh, yeah. And I sold for 4.5, and I feel like already like this weekend it might have a pump, and I'm gonna be sitting here just like feeling like a dipshit. But I bet next week it'll probably drop. It'll probably drop back down.
Never feel bad for taking profits, dude. Gotta get this. There's other opportunities.
I was really excited though. Like I was not gonna sell, and I was actually really excited to be part of the tier 4 group. So that's more of it than anything. It's actually less the money and more that I feel like I'm missing out on whatever that it's about.
I wish, and I wouldn't even be able to do it here. Gifted might be able to do it, but I don't think Dookie Dash has gone live yet. I don't think the mini game has gone live, but I'm going to be playing it today. Whenever it does go live, I'll see how long I can make it.
It might not go live till tomorrow, but yeah, it'll go live soon.
I want to look at the Twitter profile here real quick before we pop off. Biggie, the topic that I did have, were any updates on the Grail 3s? Have they revealed yet?
No. Reveal, I believe, is the 27th. Although I'm curious to see. I'm more like, first of all, I'm trying to like fight the FOMO of like getting another pass because the speculation is just off the charts, and like the people that are rumored to be in this, I don't even want to say it, but yeah, it's doing really well. Like I said, like basically, like out of 1,000 passes, 750 have been used already, which is bonkers. And let me give you the exact number: 797 passes have been already used to mint. So there's only 203 passes left. If this, I don't know, like if this keeps going, I don't see it going much longer than maybe the weekend, and therefore maybe they'll have to accelerate the reveal. I hope so for our sakes, because the suspense is killing me. But I think, I mean, it's going to be one for the books. The guy that's running it is amazing. Mm-hmm.
So I'm actually really excited to see how this plays out, because I'm kind of getting into the whole Grails thing now. Like Biggie, you've been really selling me. I've actually also been watching the Moonbird oddities floor again to see if I should get in, because they're actually pretty well priced right now. Because I want to figure out how to get into the Moonbird proof ecosystem. It seems like they're going to be doing a bunch of cool shit. So that said, Q. Two quick questions. First, can we throw that NFTPlazas tweet in the chat again one more time, just to ask people to go put some love on this? We do not get any fucking respect outside of our little bubble. For the most part, nobody cares. We're just doing our own thing. And so to see other like legit, quote unquote legit bigger media outlets and channels pick up on what we're doing, it's actually a really big deal. Like this is to
you know
me,
what, Giff, though? Like honestly, like I think the right people do care. Like I'll push back
right people
do care. We just need to get these, find the rest of them that haven't found us yet, right? But for me, it's more the quality of the shout out, right? Authenticity, which is something that I think we all aim to do here, and not try to gaslight anybody, being chain agnostic, being inclusive to all sexes, races, and people, like, I mean, that's what I'm most proud about at this show. So it was really cool to see, and I hope you all feel the same way as we do. It's a great way to start the year. Between this and Supermassive, I'm just like, man, through the fucking roof. I think I'm gonna go celebrate today.
Bro, hell yeah. Dude,
That's
1,000,000%.
baby.
Yeah. I love that. So everybody, Nifty Q just dropped it in the chat. Go throw a comment, just say something nice, do whatever you can to help us like blow up this tweet, because honestly, this really does mean a lot that they're paying attention and saying something like that about us. The other thing is that Prodigy is asking a great question, Q, because I'm also very curious. What kind of sewer passes do you got? You got a tier 4, I'm guessing. I'm guessing you got one tier 4.
Biggie kind of.
And I think you.
Go ahead.
I'm guessing you got one tier 4, and I think you got like maybe one tier 3, and a tier 2 and maybe a tier 1. I'm thinking you got one of each. Do you have one of each?
No, because the tier 3 would be a Bored Ape, I believe, right? Just a Bored Ape by itself.
Oh yeah, because you only have one now. I thought you had 2, but you got rid of the other one, right? So okay, that's why tier 4. So 2 tier 2 and 1 tier 1.
Yeah, you know, before I answer this question, and I will answer it. Biggie schooled me on this like a week ago, on like not, throwing out all your info. You know what I mean? Like Biggie, I believe in that shit. Like you asked me, and I was like, damn. Like yeah, you're right. So like I struggle with this question because like talking about this stuff publicly like puts you out in the public. You know what I mean? Like
and I keep putting you on blast, and I apologize for that because look, I'm the same way in that I keep a lot of stuff very private, and I'm actually very conscientious of my own privacy. But also it's like part of your legitimacy, Q, is that you're in this shit and it like way deeper than most people, and people care for that reason. So it's like it's an interesting balance of how much do you let on, how much do you show. So I don't know. Hopefully you don't mind too much when I brag on your bag.
No, and
I just want to highlight.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it also when you guys share about it. And I honestly, I wish I was in a position to maybe be a little more candid in that respect. But yeah, I mean, we're all here pretty much doxed, and at the same time, we really enjoy what we're doing, and like it can, like I'm from a part of the world where it can place a target on your back, right? Or people that you care about, right? And so in that respect, and it's not like I'm flexing. I'm not, I'm not going to retire tomorrow or anything. But yeah, it's just trying to be a little bit conscientious about what we've talked about. What we've talked about, wallet security and operational security, and part of it is this, right? And it's tough because I love that Ronin shared that he got into BasedHeads and that he's in the boobies club, and that you guys share that too. So that's really cool. But yeah, I agree. Sometimes, and then some people sometimes take it the wrong way and they see it as some kind of flex or like you're trying to pump your bags, and it's just not the case. But anyways, I just appreciate it when you guys do share, and I respect when you don't.
For sure. Cool. No, I definitely just, it's not that I don't want to answer the question, Giffen. I don't feel like you were like putting me on blast or anything. Like, I just wanted to highlight that point. I think it's important for people in the space to take their security seriously. I got a tier 4 and 2 or 3 tier 2s. So I don't have that other one, but I got 4 in total. What I'm going to do with that, I don't know. Prodigy is a fellow gamer. We play League of Legends all the time. Shout out to the new season that just started. But I'm going to definitely play myself on one of them. And if I get a high enough score, and that's what we need to see. Well, like, how degen are these people? Like, how much Adderall are they taking? Because if I'm the 10,000th score, I'm like, all right, well, fuck me. You know what I mean? So we'll see when that comes out. I have about a week to make that decision. So next week, I would say, ask me what I'm going to do with my passes, because right now I'm just holding.
And honestly, I would also like to what Giff was saying. Like, I would very much love to give you guys a rundown on mythics and oddities and stuff like that, because again, NFA, and I really love this about this show. We're all grown-ups here. We make our own decisions, but I would love to have as many of you of our Web3 community in the proof ecosystem. It's talk about authenticity. That's a community where our community intersects. And so to have you guys be onboarded into it would be my absolute pleasure. And I think the time is closing in. I think it's not much longer before floors might go up or might be out of reach for something.
Q, do we do the community topic in the Sarah script? Are we gonna hold that? Prodigy one? Okay,
we talked about it. So Prodigy.
Congrats, Prodigy. Congrats, bro. I think I still owe Prodigy. Oh no, I airdropped Prodigy as badass DB. Yo, Prodigy's cleaning up. He won a heterochromized DB, and he just won a Sarah script limited edition. Shit.
Really?
Yo,
hey, it pays to hang out in our chat. Apparently,
he knew what he was asking. He knew we would.
And to take action too, right? To take action, because sometimes people feel like, oh, I never win these things, I'm not gonna participate. You can't win if you don't buy a ticket, my friend. So play. It's for fun.
jumping on that train right before we get into the 2-hour mark here, just in case. And Justin Casey and Nox Darkness also participated. We see your comments. We might even jump back into those next week, Monday, because that is when the next NFT Live will be. Folks, you all were amazing per usual. Jack's Hideaway saying, FYI, invite you all to IRL and Metaverse official Arturo Sandoval Grammy after party. That's a mouthful. On February 5th, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard. More info to follow. First NFT to receive the Grammy nomination. Shout out to you.
Cute.
Nice.
Hugh, you and Biggie gonna fly in for that, eh?
I have my ticket. I have my ticket. I'm trying to deal with some stuff that's like getting in the way, but I was also accepted already. I'm part of the Spork DAO, and I'm a big fan of ETH Denver. So yeah, so far it's in the books. It's in the plans.
Oh, I was talking about this Metaverse official Arturo Sandoval event.
Oh well, of course we're gonna go to an after party. Who says no to an after party? I mean,
it's not in Denver, bro.
Will we have to be like all decked out, Jax? Like with like, you know, do I need to like go to my tailor and get a tux and stuff?
I only wear furries.
In the dead of winter, I will walk around with a tux in fucking ETH.
I only wear furries, so just let that be known. Okay, folks, I'm getting like pinged over here on the side as well. So, guys, thank you so much. This whole week has been awesome. I will be playing the Dookie Dash Challenge whenever that does come out. I don't know if that's later tonight. I don't know what the deal is, but we will be on the channel playing that live. So that'll just be a chill environment. Maybe Prodigy will hop on as well. Gif, I need to hear your score as well. I need to see how good of a game.
Oh, I got to figure out if I'm going to get back in at tier 1 or tier 2. I might not be back into it until next week because I really think after this weekend the price is going to drop. So you might have to wait a couple days on that. But also tonight on Web3 Twitter, Speakeasy with the legends, Easy and Crypto, and Kane Motherheckin Mayfield.
Wow.
Yo, do not miss
be
that.
Nuts.
Yeah.
All right.
Prodigy saying OVOT. Justin Casey saying good Joe, gents. Appreciate you. Asmod, I see your comment. We'll get to it on Monday, man. I definitely love your input there. Arafin, appreciate y'all. OVOT. GG. Choina, Hash Rhymes. I mean, y'all, I don't have Arafin. You guys are fantastic.
They're killing it.
Variant. Thank
killing
you.
It.
NFTPlazas, we love you. And we will be here next week. Peace, y'all.
Peace out.